All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We got another episode of In the Sheds, and I'm here with the boys from 310 Motorsports. I've got Big Steve and Jaden. Welcome.
Thank you.
Mate, let's get started quickly. I want to know a little bit about the shop first, and then we're going to start talking about what's going on behind us here. So how long have you boys been in this shop for?
Exactly about 15-ish months. It was July last year we got the key.
Yep.
Originally the plan was, because we came from a little garage, we wanted to obviously play within our limits, go to a shop that was within reason.
Yep.
Had a bit of money put aside.
Yep.
But when we were in the garage together, we were only detailing.
Sure.
And the reason Jade and I merged was to do the performance section as well.
Yeah, lovely.
So when we're looking for shops, we were trying to work out putting a hoist in.
Yep.
Seeing how much room that would take up. What's left? Not much. And we were like, fuck, this is actually a little bit of an issue. We looked at a few shops and it was all the same sort of deal.
Yep.
So then we looked at this. It was the size that we wanted and needed. But obviously the price was about 2.5 times more.
Sure.
If anything, like nearly 3 times more.
I feel like you've got to spend the money to make the money these days.
We realise that now, you know.
Yep.
At the time it was more a ballsy sort of choice to do, you know.
One thing I've noticed since pulling up here, you've got a few toughies laying around. Like we're gonna touch on these. There's a couple parked out the front too, which, can we show them or not?
100%.
Yeah, we can.
Of course, go for it.
Cool.
Yep.
Tell us, how do you get into the cars? Like, where did it start for you boys?
Well, for me, man, it's the old story when, you know, you're born with it type deal. Growing up, mum and dad literally tried to just defer me away from cars. Sure. It literally was that, but
because they knew what was coming if you got into it?
Exactly right. The first video that, it did, they knew, right? You could just tell, right? The first video that made me go, yeah, was that skid video of Cranky, when it torched the bush.
When it caught on fire?
That is when I'm like, yes, that's what I want.
There's something about that thing, man. Like, sounds pissed off.
Insane, dude. And to a little kid, I don't know what a blown V8 is, you know what I mean?
That's it. If you look in the dictionary, that's it.
That's it, right? And like, I didn't know what that was, but for some reason that captivated me.
Totally.
You know, so that was when it really kicked off for me, and had a lot of older friends of mine that were into their cars from when I was in playing golf back in the day. Yeah. So that's really what did it for me. But
and I heard you're a handy golfer.
I go all right.
Yep,
yeah,
cool.
I've shot a few good scores in my life. But
talk it down.
For Jaden, it started when he was a lot younger.
Yep.
Funnily enough, I keep actually telling him to go back to golf. I'm like, I'll run the shop.
Sure.
You go back to golf, get some money in the bank, and then we'll keep going.
Yeah, sure.
Nah, it pretty well started for me when I was born too. I was around it. I spent a lot of my growing up years with my grandparents.
Yep.
And both my pops are well into cars.
Yep.
Always building cars and around cars. So yeah, my long beloved debt started a long time ago.
And that's pretty much what it is. Hey?
It is, yeah.
First car?
S13 Sylvia, actually.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What was in it?
Nothing.
Nothing? just a shell?
It was a
Flintstone?
car. Yeah, it was
with legs like that, it's probably fast too.
It was a shell that I skull dragged up onto a car trailer.
Sure.
And took it back, started building that, turned it into a rolling shell.
Sure.
Swapped that for a 31 Skyline. That's when I started my drifting years.
So we're back to the Lambo.
Yep. Yeah, so I got one coming in about a month.
Perfect. In that colour?
Yeah.
Interior?
Yeah, interior. So FG or FGX versus VF.
Yep.
Interior wise, there's no comparison.
Yep.
VF's come out, like things are digital and whatnot.
Yep.
FG is still the same as it was in 07, you know. Not much different to a B series.
But I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah.
Ultimate car for you then? If there was no budget, there was no, what would you drive as like your ultimate car? Ultimate race car, ultimate street car.
As a daily or what?
You drive however you want. Race car's a race car, street car's a...
My name's Jaden, I drive a Barra.
As bad as it sounds, like my dream is twin turbo LS HK Prem.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Steve?
Yeah, I'm a little different. Mine's a Koenigsegg.
Oh, yeah. Same.
I look at them and just go, that's for me. If I can afford one of them one
That's
day.
a European Commodore, isn't it?
It's Swedish.
Yeah, sure, there you go.
Commodore.
Yeah, cool.
There's plenty of cars that I'd love.
Yeah, of course.
Aventador.
This is too long.
Yeah, sure. I feel like I ask this question a lot. Motorsport enthusiasts, you don't just have one car; you have multiple cars.
Yeah, 100%.
What's the go with the shop?
So, as Stephen said, start off in the garage as detailing. We come into here. Our first job in this shop was tinting. Actually, we tinted a single cab BT50.
Yep.
And we tried to do. Obviously, it was only Stephen and I at the start.
Yep.
So we tried to do detailing and tinting for a while, and then obviously I got the first hoist put in. Tried to do the performance side. We got a few staff members in. That kind of didn't work. And
I feel like good staff's hard to find these days.
It is, yeah.
Well, fortunately, we had a lot of our friends to help us at the start. But we didn't know what we were doing. You know what I mean? Coming from a garage to this, the garage wasn't running a business at the end of the day. We literally worked, got the money. A little bit we had to pay in tax, the rest was out. Coming in here, that's when you've got staff, insurances, overheads, bills, rent.
And trying to run a performance section doing cam packages and stuff like that, obviously it's not a 5-minute job. So trying to do a performance section as well as help him with tinting.
Of course.
And then detailing, trying to control the staff.
That's trying to spread yourself too thin.
Doing accounting and this and that and like
so
that.
what's the passion? For you, the motorsport side with the engines?
Yeah,
or
100%. Yeah, that's mine. His is, so we've split it now. Steven's got Hayden. So they're the detailers. They do all the detailing side of it.
That's the legend out the front, working hard.
And then I've got Nathan. So we got another hoist put in last week. And the performance and mechanical.
Nathan's quite famous too, I hear.
He's very busy. For all the right reasons.
We're going to go over and we're going to meet him later.
The performance and mechanical parts pumping. You know, the more our name gets out there, the more people are looking, especially this thing. Like people see this thing and they're like, I want that.
So guys, like on Marky's video, this is the car that he was talking about the new Falcon and the call out, I guess the friendly call out with them two on the back straight. I've told you about it, obviously. He's called you out, man. What do you got to say to that?
Bring it on.
So this will go down in history for me because I put the event on, the Prodigy Track Days, but there was you two, the nighttime one that we did, where it was awesome. Just set after set after set, and this thing copped abuse non-stop.
Yeah, it was awesome. So
and you drove on the trailer.
Yeah, 100%. So I was out there. I didn't actually know we're in a competition.
Well, it was only you two left.
Yeah.
Everyone pulled out.
Everyone's coming off the track and whatnot, and I'm looking around, and when I come off, obviously the tyres were bald. I come off, everyone's like, what are you doing? You're coming second. I'm like,
I ran up to him straight away, and I said, dude, you're second. He goes, second?
In what?
What are you talking about?
And then he's like, oh, you're against Mark. I'm like, fuck. Ran, put wheels on, you know, got out there, and it was awesome. Like the vibe there, it was exactly what we should all be doing, you know?
Totally.
And the one thing I love, especially with Mark, you know, we are in the same industry, we do very similar things in our shop, but we work together, you know?
I think that's the key in the motorsport industry. If you can all work together and help each other, everyone will be better.
100%, and that's what this industry should be. We should all work together, help each other. At the end of the day, man, we're all trying to eat.
Man. I feel like there's enough food to eat if we're all sitting at the table and helping each other.
Yep, 100%.
And the one thing for us, because we're very young at the end of the day, everyone else that has shops.
How old are you?
26 and 26.
Really? Yep.
Oh, 26.
It's just a number.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we're both literally just cracked our mid-20s, man. So to have people like Mark, yourself, literally. When I first saw you, I only just got my open license.
Yeah, well, fuck, you're making me feel old, man.
I swear to God, you know, so for us to have people like yourself, Mark, and then all the others, you know, all these other shops, all the 13, 20 boys, and like the list goes on. They're all much older than us. So we have this warm feeling when we have gentlemen like yourself invite us.
I feel like the generation, we have to keep this alive. I feel like the car community in Queensland is really strong. But if we don't all talk to each other, everyone just sort of goes their own way. One thing I've noticed, I was saying this on another interview, is Queensland, we're very fortunate. Everyone's close. In Sydney, Melbourne, even though you've got your cliques, to go out and watch their street racing, no one does it like we do it up here. Like everyone's there's hundreds of us get together to go catch up and have fun. So, what's the goal with the cars? Firstly, what's the goal with the blue one?
Look, the goal has kind of changed. I wanted the ultimate street car, race car, drift car.
What does that look like for you? Just something that does it all? Sure.
That literally is a great example of that.
I honestly reckon I've pretty well nailed roll racing, drag car, street car, drift car, ultimate. I'm
going to load in some videos right now of this thing doing exactly what it does and absolutely tearing it up. Everywhere you see it, it is on the limiter.
And I'm Jaden, I drive a Barra.
But I reckon I'd love to build a VL.
Sure.
So somewhere along the lines when we can afford it, I want to build like a cranky VL. I think this being a heavy car, it's never going to be fast, you know?
Compared to a VL,
Compared to a VL, similar power and similar power.
We were having this conversation off camera, and for a normal person to jump in something like that, they would be scared their pants off. But for someone that's been around fast cars, I feel like you get used to that quite quickly. Definitely. And that's fast.
My name's Jaden, I drive a Barra.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, 100%. Like people get in it and or see it and race it and everything, and they're like, fuck man, this is crazy.
Totally.
And it is. When I turned it up that little bit more and put the spray on it, the first drive, I was like, whoa. And I actually put 325 radials on it the other day and went out for a bit of a drive.
A nice cruise.
Sure, leisurely.
Very slow cruise.
That was on a private road too, I heard. Don't condone street racing or anything illegal too. We're We're all about doing it in a good environment. It's safe.
So yeah, the 325s worked amazing.
Yep, sure.
Yeah. On a no prep thing, worked amazing.
From a dig, or were you rolling?
Nah, rolling.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, that's when it gets tough in those digs.
So much weight to get moving.
100%. Yeah. But yeah, I think I wanted to go like G47 side pipe, full cage, tech it, do all that, and then I thought about it, and I'm like, I'm gonna do all that, and it's still gonna be just a slot.
And that's what I did with my VE back in the days. Is I thought, oh yeah, cool, I'm gonna put all this money into it, but at the end of the day, it's still 2-ton car.
Exactly. And no matter what you do to this thing, it's still gonna be heavy. You know, it doesn't matter what you do. You can gut it, do whatever. It's still a Falcon. You know, they're a heavy car.
So it's a good looking car.
I think, it is. It looks good. It's a mint all rounder. You know, maintenance is up there, but it's not like I'm rebuilding motors every week.
Tell everyone what's done to it. What's underneath the bonnet?
Okay, so now it's got an all-street engine. So Joel from All
Big
Street
Joel.
built the long motor.
Done some cool stuff up there.
He's a weapon, bro. He's a weapon. If any of you need a full barra build, definitely hit Joel up.
My name's Jaden. I drive a barra.
Shameless plug, Big Joel. Have to get you on for an episode too, mate.
Recase glide, 9-inch, 4-link, half cage, G42, 50 shot of spray on it, which it doesn't need, but I was just one of those moves.
You always got to have a little bit there, right? And a big heavy foot.
Seriously heavy, actually.
And it's got an F6 kit on it. It's just an XR6 turbo, but it's got an F6 kit on it. Apart from that, man, just
And power-wise, do you disclose what you make, or is it a bit of a secret?
I don't care, man. I'm not one of those.
How much does it make?
With the 50 shot, it went 1280.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying
at the hubs.
At the hub.
Yeah. Impressive.
I was trying everything. Jesse from Madoc tunes it. He's an absolute weapon. Anything.
He's got is it the HR or there's like a ute that he has?
HR.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're up in Toowoomba or something?
Yep. Jesse's up in Toowoomba.
Yep, cool.
He tunes this thing. Absolutely crazy.
A lot of cool cars up on top of the hill. A lot of big shops.
Actually. It's bizarre how it's made its way.
A lot of shops.
Yeah, between him and Forrest and everyone else.
There's a lot of people.
And obviously you've got Golbies and things like that. The list goes on. It seems to be the car capital.
Tell us, the Mercedes behind here, let's have a look at this thing. Now, this is one of my favourite cars. I've always wanted one of these as a kid growing up, and now I'm sitting in front of one. He's going to let me drive one, is he? No, he's not. No, he's not. Tell us about it. What's the story, mate?
So, dude, like I said, off camera again, was a dream car.
Yeah.
It's obviously a lot of people's dreams car. Yeah. And finally was in a position to get one. I lined up for the gentleman that actually built an RS3 that I had to turn this up the second I bought it.
You're quite famous. Sorry to interrupt. You're quite famous, aren't you? So can we just, before we go into that,
let's go back.
Tell me the story on how this all come to fruition.
So, okay, as soon as I got my opens, long story short, wanted as much power as possible for as little money as possible. So straight to a barra.
We're on a budget.
Exactly right. Got an F6, made 600 on E85, stock box, stock everything, and got out to QR for a power play day. Andrew Hawkins was in the passenger seat of an RS3, which was dusting everything, we'll be honest. It's a mid 10-second car.
I remember this video very
And they were
well.
beating everyone, it's in fairness, you know, and they threw a live stream up, and in the car he was saying, oh, you know, no one wants to race us, let's race. And someone commented on the live stream, race RIP 310. My plate was RIP 310 at the time. Still is. And so, at the time I was just in front of him. So he goes, oh yeah, we'll race him. And he just said things on the live stream. We've been beating barras all day. They don't come close, making all these jokes about barras. Lined up next to me. Meanwhile, I've got some 225s on the back with a car full of people.
Say 5 deep.
Literally 5 deep.
I feel like that probably would have helped you though.
It actually did in the end, right? But I was out there power skidding, you know. So they've come up to me and said, the internet said we got a race, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, no worries. I knew I was going to lose. I was just in it for a bit of fun. And he's saying, at the barriers, do it properly, happy days, no problem. As soon as we got to the barriers, bang, we were neck and neck. And then the old barrier just pulled away right at the end.
His life.
So that bit of the live stream got cropped and went fucking everywhere.
Because I saw it and it literally broke the internet.
It was ridiculous, man. T-shirts got made of it. It was bizarre.
So big thank you to Andrew Hawkins too for that, for making you famous, I guess.
It's crazy.
And is that how the business came about?
That's exactly right. So like now looking back, it almost is like a bizarre situation to think about. It almost started then, that day. This almost originated that day, you could almost say, you know. So the name, everything else.
And that's how we got to the Merc.
And that's how we got to the Merc, right?
Then there was the Breeze Ute.
The Breeze Ute,
yes.
So I sold the F6, got a Breeze Ute straight away, turned that up a bit more, that made 700 with a built ZF, so it was a pretty tough car.
How many years ago was this? 7, 8?
So 6 years now for the Ute.
I feel like that's pretty impressive power for back in those
Dude,
times.
at the time, if you had 700 horsepower, you were like a serious player. You know, if you had 1,000.
Isn't it crazy how...
He used to let me borrow the Ute to go places. And I'd take the Ute out, go somewhere and be like, people would be like, that's RIP 310. You know, like, that's how it was back then.
Of course.
And for someone that was, how old were we?
20.
20?
Like, so you've just gone straight to the penthouse, basically.
Literally to the top. It was so bizarre. You know, and it was just so unintentional as well. I was just out there to have a bit of fun. It was crazy how it all happened. Goes to show what the internet can do sometimes, you know. So
especially, I think the power is on the internet these days too.
It is.
So now we've got into this.
Now we got that, right? So when we were in the garage, I obviously I was using Dad's car to do mobile work all day, had no money. Took me about a year and a half of work to have enough accreditation to be able to get a loan for a car. Had to be smart, wanted to get a 1,000 horsepower barrow, typical, you know, but I was like, no, I can't. So I bought the RS3 as a joke. I literally bought the exact same RS3 that I raced just for a laugh. Turned out it's an amazing car. I loved it. But then as time, it wasn't what I wanted. It was just I needed to kind of kill two birds with one stone. It was fun, but reliable.
To fix the addiction, so
exactly. Just because I had, my life plummeted just before COVID hit, and it was 2 years of shit. And I had to pull myself back out of it, and I had to start life again, basically. So for me,
here we are.
That was the achievement to get that was amazing, right? But that was actually a dream car of mine. And I'm like, I really want one of them. And you afford it.
You drive it pretty sensibly too.
Like, it never sees anything north of 3,000 RPM.
It doesn't really leave the shop.
Never leaves the shop. No.
I'm still on the same set of tires. We're going to drop a video right now of this thing absolutely cutting sick. It loves a bushfire.
Dude, and that's the thing, right? And now we're back to when I knew I was about to buy it. I said to the gentleman that built the RS3, hey man, gonna need the 63 turned up, no problem. Bought it. For a bone stock car, it's actually amazing how well it went and how well it sounded. You open the valves with the button. I was like, well, I don't need to spend all this money now. I can still enjoy it stock. And then there was a shop in Redcliffe that serviced it, and they said they can flash tune it, and opened it up. It went from not being able to lose traction to rolling power skids from a flash tune. That's when I first took it out. It was a flash tuned stock 63.
And it sounds quite cranky too.
It's pissed off, It's one of those unique sounds out of a 4-litre V8 too. I don't know how they've engineered it that way.
And for you guys, like obviously you guys work on the car, but for everyone else who's looking at this car has rubber caked all over it after every meet, and you guys look after this thing and it's Mickey Mouse.
So that's obviously the point we were trying to make too. Now it's at a point, because there were so many track days in a row, now that there's none till next year, we're going to clean it up. But for people that haven't been out at the track, it's something you can't really explain. It's almost like you're driving on gravel in a way.
There's so much rubber.
So much rubber, and obviously people will clip the curb, some sand will come on, and it's just crazy. You'll drive over someone's bloody input shaft every now and again, you know, kaboof, you know, wow, nice.
Or an AU Falcon with like an open centre that's just left the wheel.
Old Rodney's out there, you know. So then obviously it turned into a car that, it's a computer, right? So I tried to give it a go. It took me half the day of a February Power Cruise event to work out how to drive it, because it is just, it's a computer.
So much technology.
It's not like that. That, throttle, gear, hold on. That, no, you know. So I had to work out how to do it. And then it was like something clicked. I worked out how to throw it into the corner, what gear to give it when. The only thing that was very tricky, it's the only car that doesn't have a shifter here. It's only paddle shift.
Of course.
So try drift and link corners with paddles that's stuck to your steering wheel.
So will it hold a gear if you command that?
Correct. Yeah.
So it won't automatically shift if it wants to shift?
It is in the gear that you're in. That's the one good thing about it.
So the ECU won't override anything?
Manual's manual. The only thing it does, it will go into a bit of a limp mode. Sometimes. There's no real reason when, but sometimes it will. So it's just a little bit of brake boosting. It loses traction very easy. Doesn't peg, it's just twinning a gear straight away. And it's the most comfortable, and I could almost drift this thing with my eyes shut, I feel.
Question, do you have the aircon on and the music cranking when you're out there, or what do you do?
Here and there, bro. The music, 100%. There's songs out there that go so well going sideways. It works well. The aircon, no. I kind of like being a bit sweaty and hot out there. There's something about it, I don't know, but I never do.
Aircon pump.
I don't actually.
So to me, that's a street car. If it's got aircon, it's a street car.
It is, 100%, bro, for sure.
So hang on, when you're out on the track, you actually pump on the aircon?
Yeah, 100%.
So it's not actually you driving though. Your partner does a lot of the driving out of the track though.
My missus Brooklyn. She's the one that does.
Shout out to Brooklyn for amazing driving too.
So I played up a little bit in my Black Falcon. Managed to get myself a 10-year ban, which thanks to Grant has been reduced to January next year. So you'll be able to drive next year.
Finally.
Yeah, January next year I'll be able to drive. So I ended up still doing 2 years. In that 2-year span, obviously I brought this thing, so I had to get Brooklyn to drive. Which
she's a good driver.
Yeah, she's a wicked driver.
For a female.
Yeah, and your better half, obviously. So let's have a look under the bonnet. Let's see what the dealio is. Talk us through the combo. Let's have a bit of a walk around this thing.
Righty, so as I said, all-street engine, G42, nitrous, all the usual stuff, Pro Mod.
That is a very big turbo.
Does the job.
Very modest too.
Full build engine, and then half cage, 9-inch 4-link. As you can tell by the 18
and,
metres of...
the wheels?
Yeah, 18 metres of dish on the back. So I've got 22-inch Simmons on the front.
What are they? Are they Bud Simmons?
Yeah, Buds. Yeah. I wanted to go for... The car used to have the radials on the back and an 18-inch wheel on the front. I wanted to change it up and go a bit more like... Habibi. So did the 22s on the front and then went with 20s on the rear, purely just to get the car.
That is a lot of dish.
It is, yes. To try to get the car levelish. It's hard with the 4-link and stuff, running the pit.
Do you have to change much of the bar work and stuff like that?
No. So that's what I tried to do. I tried to make it that these wheels can come off.
Yep.
You can bolt a 325 or a 275 radial under it with the welds.
Yes.
Don't have to change anything, apart from wheel nuts. It's the only thing you got to swap. So yeah, it works very well with this setup. Took obviously a little bit to get it down pat.
I feel like the fitment on that is really, really amazing too.
It's awesome, yeah. So rolling around on the street, man, it looks pretty tame. Obviously, it's got a lot of dish, but still full interior. Yeah, it's actually getting trimmed soon. Carmen's is doing up a 4-seat conversion for it.
4-seat conversion?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So it'll be buckets in the rear. Yeah. So we're doing GTP front and rear.
Yeah, very nice.
So where this car really shines is this is 310's guinea pig in a way.
Yep.
If you bring us a bare shell or a Falcon in particular that's completely bone stock and you have the funds, it will leave looking like this. We work with Joel from All Street Motors. We don't do the fab, that's the only thing we don't do in-house yet, but everything, as you can see, paint, fitment-wise, like you were saying, anything internally, interior-wise, the whole car, if you just bring us a bare Falcon, it will leave looking like that.
Yeah, so we can contract some work out and the rest of it pretty well do in-house.
Yep. Now, let's have a look at the C63. Steve, tell us what the go is with this, mate. What's under the bonnet?
Well, it's technically still, you could almost say stock. The only thing now, it has the downpipes in the tune, so they just max the turbos out. So it makes just over 500 to the tyre. But it's a different 500. I keep saying it to people. A Merc 500 is different. There's been a few 700 horsepower VF clubbies and it walks away from them. It's bizarre. I don't really know how it works, but...
How good does it look under these lights, like the black car?
Yeah, it's a black car thing, dude. Like, I literally had a white car and people would think I'm silly to sell it to get a black one. But, you know, when you have the products that we have here, we're certified by Geon. The coatings are so superior. They're on another level, man. So when you're paint corrected in a way that we do, coat them in Geon Infinite with a top coat as well.
And how often would you top up that?
You don't have to top it up at all for 15 to 20 years. We give a lifetime warranty with these coatings. Any issue you have in the time that you own the car, we'll fix it. But these are on another level. If you've done anything coating-wise before, they always look pretty good when they leave the shop. Whenever you first do a coating, they all look pretty good. But this is a longevity product.
Because it's like a membrane, am I right? And it's it'll self-heal itself a little bit?
So, to a point, right? So coatings are something where it more acts as a barrier in a way. When you start playing with stone chips and things like that, that's when it kind of, it's out of reach there. That's when PPF comes in. But when you want finish on the paint, like PPF doesn't compare anywhere near like what correcting and a coating does. Like if you want a show car and you want to win a show comp, PPF out the door.
All right, man, so we're outside and you've got something to show us, which I saw on the way in. Tell me a little bit about this thing, dude.
So we've got a couple of toughies out here. Big block sitting in a chassis.
Wrapped it in a camo wrap.
We're doing a full build on this thing, so it's a HZ tonner. Come in with major issues. The customer's been shafted by a few shops, so he come in here, wants us to start again and build it up, so that thing should be pretty crazy. Then we got my F truck.
This is what I'm talking about.
Started building one when I was probably like 12, 13 with me pop, and it ended up going out in the backyard and rusting to nothing. This thing popped up a couple of months ago, and it was already C-notch rear, short and 9-inch, 4-link. It's got drop spindles and stuff in the front. So yeah, we've done big tubs in the back, sheet metaled it all. It's my first time ever making tubs from scratch, so pretty happy. Turned out all right.
Yeah, cool, man.
And there, just...
And what's the combo going to go in it?
It's in it. Well, sort of, half. It's got a Clevo in it with a big camshaft and a C6 box. So it's just going to be literally like tough cruiser.
Yep, cool. And when do you hope to have that done?
Look, honestly, it should be running pretty soon.
And when is the open day?
Sunday the 8th.
Sunday the 8th.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I've got the intake manifold, carby and everything. I got the intake back from the HPC coders this morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got push rods now too. So yeah, I can pretty well finish the motor, do the fuel system, and yeah, get it running.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
nice. I'm looking forward to seeing this one out. I love the old classic stuff. Hey, just immaculate. Those are the wheels that are going to go on it as well?
Yeah, they're the wheels that he gave. It's got a 325 radial on the back.
Beautiful.
Just for the look. It'll never spin them. But
well, you never know.
Yeah, but yeah, who knows, man?
On there.
Yeah, one day could be.
I'm sure there's some products inside which might.
Yeah, one day could be barrow or something.
Oof. We're on.
Boys are on.
We're back. All right. So tell us a little about now, guys. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time with 310?
Hopefully, a Gold Coast store.
Yep.
Definitely
it will.
We will.
Yep.
We're pushing for a Gold Coast store next. We were going to do one in like the city way.
Yes.
Was the initial plan.
Yep.
Let's get the first store down pat first.
Totally.
And go from there. But we noticed we started having people come from the Gold Coast and beyond further.
Yep.
So that's why we're like, maybe the Brizzy store is too close.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go further away.
Yep.
So the Gold Coast store is something we hope to have up and running within 2 to 3 years from today. And just to keep going.
Yep.
We have no plans on stopping.
Sick, I love that.
We want to go big or nothing really.
A piece of advice you could give yourself 5 years ago today, knowing what you know, what would you give yourself?
Dude, that's such a hard question to answer.
Yep.
You've got no idea how tricky that is, because what I know now...
I asked the big questions, mate.
I knew 5 years ago. Honestly, the thing that everyone says, I know it sounds a bit cliche, is to obviously don't give up and keep pushing.
Yep.
I had a bit of a thing where I loved proving people wrong.
Yeah, sure.
And I also loved proving people right that believed in me.
I feel like Australia, their culture, we're very much the tall poppy syndrome, you know what I mean? If someone's doing better than you, they're like, everyone's quick to be like, oh, they're only doing that because of this, instead of being like, that's sick, I want to try to get to that.
We were warned about that, bro. Honestly, people told us when we started coming into this place, oh, be careful. And we're thinking, what do you mean be careful? Since we started doing all right, our friends that we thought were our friends turned against us.
I was going to say, that was another big thing for me. We used to have a big friend group, you know?
But is that a thing as you get older, you find out who your true mates are?
100%. And like, it was always like, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. I've done it.
Yeah, watch me.
Yeah, watch me.
Prove it to them.
Yeah. And
it fuels us.
I still do it even with my missus, my mum, like everyone. They go, like they push me to do better, obviously, but if anyone ever says to me, you can't do that, I'm like, watch me.
It's more fuel to do it.
100%.
What about for you, mate? Some advice you could give yourself from years ago?
Probably about the same. Going back then, I started giving up. I got shafted with my mechanical apprenticeship. We're just talking about that off camera. I was shafted with my mechanical apprenticeship. We got shafted heaps, you know. And then
it's what builds character though, right?
I feel like you learn a lot from that though.
100%.
Gives you thick skin.
And obviously I was always doing stuff in mum's driveway and in the garage, on the street, this and that. You know, like mates back then were all like, oh, fucking Ed's to build engines was the thing, and Tracy Racing, because mum used to fucking support me with everything. You know?
Hey, mum's the best sponsor sometimes.
There was all these remarks getting said and whatnot, and now it's like, I find, I don't want this to get taken the wrong way, but I find a lot of it is just jealousy now.
Totally, dude.
Because I've done it. And now they look and they've distanced themselves from me, and I honestly think a lot of it is just jealousy. And that's one of the things I've noticed, especially with the YouTube stuff, is I used to walk around with a camera and I feel like an absolute twat, and I still do to a degree, and you'd get some of the people being like, haha, look at this guy, fucking Hollywood, this and that. And it used to get to me a little bit, and then I'm like, hang on a minute. You wouldn't be saying that if you were making millions of dollars doing the same thing. 100%. So my goal is...
Good on it. Might offer you a piece of advice.
Amen.
I might try to help you.
Amen. Yeah, here, jump on a video. Let's do something.
100%, man.
Now, where can we see these cars next? What's coming up for the 310 crew?
Well, that's a great question,
Nothing
dude.
this year. I'm done.
You said, you did say off camera, because I've been having mad technical difficulties, Sony, you let me down. What's going on? Get this up here.
Actually,
I got one thing I know I need to say, actually.
What's that meet Brendan always posts?
The cruise time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cruise
They're doing one in
time,
November.
November?
Whatever it is.
The next one, he posted it yesterday.
Yeah. I think it's November.
100% be there.
And that's local too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he did a good one the other week, which looked like hundreds and hundreds of cars. But in terms of track stuff, what's the plan for you boys?
My plan is Sydney Power Cruise for this thing.
Yep.
I was going to take it, I'm going to Summer Nats, so I was going to take it to Summer Nats, but I think I'm just going to go watch
Sure. I'll see you down there.
Yep. Yeah, sick.
Yep.
But
yeah, I'll be here working.
Yep. Someone has to.
Power Crew Sydney, I think myself, Jacob of 1320 and all the boys are going to try and get to that.
Yeah, so, cool. Yeah. No Prodigy days.
Well, we don't know.
Prodigy 310 collab day, you mean?
While we've been talking, I've actually had a text
what do you reckon about that?
I've actually had a text message come through about dates, so I'm not going to give it away yet. But yeah, just cheers, boys. Yeah,
no worries.
You're not invited anyway.
Easy.
When he decides to make an event, we'll be there.
We'll let you know.
I would love to have you guys, man, because you guys put on the best show.
Yeah. So. The other thing that is actually coming, so as people have probably seen, our colour for the brand and the business is this turquoise. Yep. You know, it's based off a Ford colour called Breeze.
Yep.
That's where you can see all these colours around the shop.
Yep.
Where this came from was a Ute that came after the F6 with the Audi stuff.
Sure.
And that's a Breeze colour. That's what kind of where all this started to stem from. We bought it back. The same Ute, I sold as a rolling shell.
Was that a while ago? You did that, or is this recent?
I sold it 5 and a bit years ago as a rolling shell. And then we seen it pop up on Marketplace 6 months ago, and we bought it back. So it's the Ute. The reason the name is what it is, the reason the colours are what they are.
So when's it coming out, and what's going to be in it?
So the whole problem is time, for one. Customers come first at the end of the day. Our own shit gets put to the side. You know, that's why we're awake at 2 a.m. to get our own shit done as well. But customers come first whenever we've got time. The Ute, it's finally made an appearance, it's back. Got to do a couple of things to it, but that's the next thing you'll see out of this shop at 310 Autosport is that Breeze Ute. The reason it started,
one of the famous ones.
Exactly right. The thing that went everywhere. That's going to make a return next year. Not sure what time.
And the F-Truck.
And the F-Truck. Yeah, exactly. The F-Truck's not actually that far away. The Ute's further away than the F-Truck.
Well, we'll have to come back for the open day.
Yes. And Sunday the 8th, if any of you are doing nothing, want to come down, there's going to be some sick cars.
The 8th of
December.
11 a.m. So this video will be out by then. So yeah, get on it. RIP 310 Autosport. Motorsport?
Very close, actually. You know what I noticed at the start? There was a mistake at the start, wasn't there?
Was it?
310 Autosport.
It is Motorsport.
Yeah, 310 Autosport.
My bad.
So yeah,
but you're doing a lot of motorsport stuff.
100%. So that's why there's a lot of motorsport. That's why I come up with Autosport. Just try and be as different as possible, but within the same sort of bracket.
Was that your mistake or my mistake?
That was yours, actually.
Fuck.
Straight up.
I'm going to edit that out.
Yeah,
cool. Well, boys, it's been a pleasure to have you on the channel.
Thank you.
Yeah, look forward to getting this video out and see you guys out the track.
Yeah, dude, thanks for coming. You're more than welcome at our shop anytime.
Sunday, 8th of December. If you aren't doing anything, we've got the whole lot over the road. We've got our block as well.
Yeah, and amazing cars.
Bring your kids down. Might have a jumping castle maybe.
Yep. 11 a.m. to 11 to 3.
11 to 3.
Yep, 11 to 3.
User providing free drinks, hey?
Free drinks and free food. We actually are.
Oh, really?
We are. There's a tap around the corner. Have you seen it? It's mint.
Get in there, you dogs. Yeah, cool.
Come down, sausage sizzle, probably be a jumping castle, some sick cars.
Yeah, bring your kids. Day for the family.
Yep. I'll definitely be here.
At the end of the day, it's a celebration. Yep. We're here as a reason for a lot of our customers, a lot of our friends. The support we've had to be here is amazing. It's not a day we're looking to make money on. That's why we're providing free food and free drinks. I will say that right now. We just want everyone to come and enjoy it and have a celebration. That 310 is becoming a thing. We want everyone to be a part of it. So
see you guys here 8th December.
11 a.m. 8th December, Sunday. Be there or be triangular.
Let's go triangular rear end.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go. I like it. Sick.
Beautiful.
Sick.
My name's Jaden. I drive a Barra.